Hey, MCOC community, it's Aethros back again with Aethos Updates, and I moved up the timeline for this video. Normally, this video was originally going to be posted 3, 4, 5 episodes later, but an interesting thing happened today. One of the biggest CCP content creator program creators, Seaton, I'm sure everybody knows him, and you've probably seen a lot of other YouTubers do videos on Seaton and what it means for the community and all that stuff. But I wanted to get to his big topic, right? That he posted today. That he was bored with it and it wasn't fun anymore, and that's a big drawback, right? You've got content creators that are saying the game's not fun, it's boring, and these people that you go look at any one of his videos, they all have 40, 50, 60,000 views, tens of thousands of subscribers. This is not somebody who's got, like me right now, just a few hundred subscribers. Somebody who's amassed, and so it can carry some weight in the community. So I've always believed with these episodes that they should be about how to really solve the problems. And in order for Kabam to take notice, there has to be incentive for them to take notice. And it's not just about one person leaving the game, one whale leaving the game, or cow whale or Seaton. It's not about that, right? And we can try and organize a day where everybody goes up, but at the end of the day, it comes down to people play games that they enjoy and they have fun playing. They're not spending money on games because they don't get some satisfaction out of it. And if you continue on this certain path, then Kabam, then I really believe that not only are you going to alienate your fans from MCOC, but you're going to alienate them from MROC. I mean, people don't want to go to a company and stay with a company and play other games from a company that they don't enjoy, right? So with that being said, let's get on to, we've already discussed how you can make alliance wars more fun and how you can change loyalty, how you can get arena bots out of it. But let's look at the story mode, right? One of the things that endgame players really enjoy is the endgame content, the difficult content, right? But I think I've got a way. I think I've got a way to solve this problem, right? So let's look at it, right? The first is hero use. Kabam, listen up. You keep putting heroes into this game, and the biggest complaint that I hear from everybody that I've played with or that I watch on YouTube that have phenomenal YouTube channels as well, and CCP YouTubers, is that you only get to use a select few heroes. There's a reason that Aegon went for almost 80 million points in the arena, over a year after he was released, because people need these heroes to get content done. And Kabam, you have such an opportunity, right? You, Kabam, have said you're going to go in a completely different direction with Book 2, Act 1, right? You're going to change that. Well, I'm going to provide you the framework for how to do it, right? This isn't some review of some hero. This is a framework defining solution, right? Quit giving us more champions we're never going to use. What's the point, right? Why should I spend money on Cavalier crystals? Why should I spend money on early access bundles if you're just going to never use the heroes, even if you do get them, right? And I've provided a framework with some, play with the Defender Diversity and Alliance Wars in episode 1, but in story mode, you have such an opportunity to change all of that, right? Players find things fun if they're challenged and it's not the same rote thing over and over and over again, right? So how do you do that? How do you do that? We want to use these champions, right? I'd love to rank up X23 and user more. I'd love to rank up, Kingpin or somebody else, but why? Why waste the resources, right? So, and on that note, you're trying to sell us, Kabam, on a game, MROC, that's all about choice. You can customize your heroes in your house that you can get all these other things, right? That's what you're trying to sell us on this game. Well, why don't you introduce aspects of that right now? And then people will play MCOC and MROC because there's more choice with what you do in the game. Right? So, pay attention to me. Book 2, Act 1 should be this. First of all, stop locking the champs. Right? And there's a reason that I'm going to say stop locking them. I understand what you were doing with Book 1. Right? I understand why you locked them between Alliance Quest and Alliance War, but with Book 2, Act 1, if you use somebody in story mode, you can use them in Alliance War as well, or Alliance Quest and Book 2. Just stop locking the champs. If I spent tons of money getting Corvus Glaive up, I want to be able to use him in both things, right? Why can't I use him in more aspects than one, right? So then go back to 4 to 6 star. I understand not being able to use 3 star in Book 2. It's supposed to be a progression in the game, and if you got the skill, you shouldn't be able to use them. But you have champions, by your own admission, are too powerful to release as 5 or 6 stars. Since you're not doing that, allow players who love playing Scarlet Witch, who love playing Wolverine, right? Which baffles me. You have one version of Wolverine X-23 and it's a 5 star, but you won't put the other one in. It's crazy to me, but that's another episode. But you have these champions that you won't even put as 5 stars, 6 stars. What if I wanted to play an Act 6 with such Scarlet Witch? I mean, why can't I do that, right? That irritates me a little bit, right? So if you're looking at the screen right now, make the difficulty be based on prestige and title. And the reason I say this is you would give players who struggle with X6, because you've restricted X6 so much, the ability to go into Book 2, Act 1, and you'd be able to get resources you need to rank up specific heroes for Act 6, and then go back and do Act 6, right? So make it based on prestige and maybe to some extent title. So if you're uncollected with a 9K prestige, you've got a different, slightly, not much different difficulty level than somebody who's Cavalier with a 9,000, right? Not much. And look, you've got the algorithms here. You've got the numbers and the data to support varying difficulties based on prestige and title. You make it about the title. You've made it about the title. So continue that. You've made it about prestige. So just use that since the format's already there, right? Okay, so then the next thing. All right. Now, go in a different direction, Kabam. Okay? Go in a different direction, right? Keep a similar format with the 6 quests per chapter, right? But in this case, quit making, this feedback I kept getting from all these people was that there's these insane paths, and it's like Act 4. And look, Act 4 was a chore. It was just simply a chore. They're so long and just grinding out these paths, right? Even when you pushed it down to 2 energies from 3, it still felt like hours to do, just because there were so many fights per path, and there were so many little paths off other paths and whatnot, right? Make one path, right? And I know what you're thinking. I know the pushback that I'm going to get from this. One path, you're going to get done too easily. Maybe not, right? When you do this, though, don't have any of these dumb junctures. You start here, and then you branch off to 5 separate things, so you have to come back and converge to the boss. I heard so much feedback about Act 6 where people said they didn't want to have to fight a boss, 18 times or whatever it was, right? I mean, I'm barely in Act 6. The energy's not there to do it right now, right? Because I'm still searching for Captain America Infinity War. I still don't have him as a 5 star. I've got a lot of other 5 stars. I've got almost all of them, but I don't have him, right? And just didn't interest me if I've got to be champ specific. But one path. Now here's how this would work. You got 4 mini boss fights and a boss fight. Each section before the mini boss has 5 fights, right? Here's how this works, right? Once a mini boss is defeated, okay, those 5 champs can no longer be used in the entire chapter. In the entire chapter. Not just that quest line, in the entire chapter. So let's say I take in Doom and the Fantastic Four. I got all of them, right? Let's say I take all 5 of them in there, got great synergies together, and I go in and I clear the mini. The second the mini happens, I now am forced to switch out to 5 new champions. Right? Those are locked for all chapter 1. Right? So I've got I got 25 more fights that I got to do in each quest line, right? That I don't get those heroes for. But the great thing is even though they're locked for the chapter, I can still go and do them in AQ or AW. I can still use them, right? All in all, that would cause you to have to use 150 champs to get this down. Now, that means that Kabam, listen up, I either have to spend more resources, which you could float us in deals and offers, in the glory store, and all these things. You made all these updates, some of them great, right? And I might have to think about who I want to rank up synergy-wise. So now I've got to really plan and strategize. Maybe I wouldn't normally take up a hero like Kingpin, but the synergies with somebody else or whatever that, but I really enjoy playing him, so I want to use him in that act, right? But I can use those synergies to maybe clear the content with that one character, okay? And then so defeating a mini ramps up the challenge slightly. Not a lot, Kabam, but you do want a progression. You do want this to get a little more challenging, right? People want a challenge, but they also want it to be fun and interesting, right? So then each mini and each fight and each boss provides a choice of rewards. Players want choice. That's what you claim to be giving us in Marvel Realm of Champions when it comes out, right? We want choices, okay? And I think that if you offer that to players, right, I get to choose the five heroes I want to take in after the next mini, right? And open the whole thing up. Open all of the chapter up at once so I can see what nodes I may need other heroes for. Just open it all at once. Now, I've got to play it in progression, but I can plan out, I can strategize, right? Now it becomes almost sort of like an MMORPG, right? Because now I've got to plan. I've got to strategize my paths and figure out who goes where when, and maybe I look at a CCP and they have a champion that I don't have, and now I've got to find a different replacement for it. That can make the game really fun. You know what I mean? So let's look at the next part. Okay? So once you beat a mini, you have to change your team, right? But you could also make it so where if I pick certain champions on that path, maybe lesser used champions, maybe like a Thor Jane Foster or a Kamala Khan or somebody, right? That if I bring those champions in and I use them on one fight, I can get an extra 1,000 5-star shots or something to that effect, right? Because now I'm providing incentive to players to use champions, right? Now, what happens if I run into a fight that I just, I don't know if I can do it. Maybe I brought in the wrong team, right? The champions aren't locked until you defeat the mini. So let's say I bring in Doom and the Fantastic Four to the first 5 fights a mini, right? And then they're locked for the rest of the chapter. But I go in with, a Daredevil team. Daredevil, Netflix Daredevil, Kingpin, Elektra, and somebody else, right? I go in there, and I'm just not successful with it, right? And I can't take down the mini with that team. I just quit out. I come back to right where I started on that section, right, leading up to mini 2, so I don't have to go back and fight mini 1. That's already in place, right? And I can bring another team in. That Daredevil champion team is not locked because maybe they're better for somebody else or for better path or whatever, right? They're not locked until you defeat a mini with them or a boss, right? So, but maybe if you quit out, you have to lock one of them potentially, right? Maybe not. Maybe something you could play around with, Kabam, but that's up to you, right? But you come back to the first fight after the mini you take down if you leave story mode. So if you leave if you quit out of it and whatnot, okay? All right, so let's talk about rewards, right? I think that a big thing with rewards is just the fact that they're not tailored to what people need, what players need, right? So use that, right? So what I said is one word, again, choice, right? So after every fight, you get to choose one of the following, right? 1,000 5-star shards, 250 6-star shards, 1,500 tier 5 basic, 100,000 gold, or a 2% T5 CC crystal, right? You're talking now, if you got 5 fights before the mini, you could choose one of every one of them. Or if you're desperate for gold, right, and you're not trying to rank up rank 3 heroes right now, you could take 500,000 gold. Boom, right there. Okay? Or you could take 1,250 6-star shards in the 5 fights. Now in the minis, you can choose to have a choice of 3 items. These are difficult fights. And you might be bringing heroes that are synergizing for one champion. So you might have to be spending some revives or some potions or whatever, right? So give a choice. 5,000 5-star shards, 2,500 6-star shards, right? You want players to be able to get more champions. That's the point, right? You want them to be able to get more champions. Because, Kabam, here's what I don't think you understand, is that if there's 150 champions in the game, and I have to use them all, I got to use them all to get down book 2 rank 1. And I might want to, and I've got incentives, right? I get extra shards, extra crystal openings, all this stuff, right? If I defeat them with a certain hero, I'm going to be incentivized now to rank up those heroes. What am I likely to do? Spend money to get the extra heroes, spend money to get the extra resources, right? It makes sense for you. It makes sense for you to put in incentives to have players use more than 10 or 20 heroes out of 150, right? And this is one way to do it. So you could say 500,000 gold. Now, you've introduced tier 6 basics, right? You've got it in there. You showed it to us, right? Give us some tier 6 basics. Give us a chance at 6 times tier 5 class catalyst crystals. It's RNG based, so maybe you get one of each color. Maybe you get all of one color, but you get 6. You have a choice of 6 so that you can maybe get 2% of each class, right? Or a 6-star class awakening gem. And you get to choose any 3 of those. Wow, that's a pretty cool thought, right? Man, I can choose to awaken a 6-star class from taking all these minis. How much would I love that, right? Get a class selector. Holy cow, Kabam. You think people aren't going to want to go in there and do that? Because I need these champions. I need these champions to use them. And I need them awakened, right? Then you could say, boss, choice of 5 items. 15 5-star shards. So now you can get a featured 5-star for taking on boss on one of these chapters if you wanted to. 10,000 6-star shards. You can open a 6-star crystal. You can choose 5 of these. Tier 5 basic. 22.5k, maybe half a tier 5 basic. Because remember, there's 6 of these bosses. So you're getting 3 tier 5 basics for taking this out. And we haven't even gotten to the fact that you could do a full exploration. There's only one path. So you full explore, you could throw in 2 or 3 more tier 5 basics. Gold, 1.5 million. Right? You want us ranking these champions. Throw us more gold. Here's a way. Tier 6 basic, 9k. Right? But the thing is, at 6-star generic, I put 6-star generic awakening gem. The one I didn't leave on there is 6-star guaranteed generic 6-star 6 stones. Right? You're putting so many heroes in the 6-star. Give us the opportunity to rank them. We want to use them. We want to play with them. Right? That's the point. You don't give a kid 1,000 toys and then say, oh, you can only play with these 20 ever. You can't ever, like, I'm going to put them behind a wall, and a glass wall, and you can see them, but you can't ever play with them because there's no point to it. Right? Why? What's the point in giving us those champions then? Right? So, give some 6 stars, or 6 stones, right? And make them generic. Quit giving the RNG base out of them. Right? I get that you don't want to completely negate the value of these items, but look, you only get 5 items to choose from. So if I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, I don't get to choose all of them. And so I can tailor it to my needs as a player, right? Now I can, and look, there's 6 quest paths to a chapter. So that means I can choose 5 of these 6 different times. Look at that. right? I mean, if I chose the 10% tier 5 class catalyst crystals 6 times, I get 6 of those, right? And I do that 6 times. I chose that. Wow, 6-star generic. I know 6-star awakening gems generic is a lot to dump into the game, but why? Why is that a lot? You got 150 champions. Now I can pick anybody that I want to open up, right? How much fun would that be? Now I don't have to hoard these things for months on end. I mean, I've got 2 5-star generic awakening gems and I'm holding them because I don't have a skill awakening gem, and I might not ever get one. I don't have still on Nick Fury. I'm holding for that. I've been holding it for what, a year now? Like what? Because I have mystics, I've got omens. But if you give these things, now I can use them more frequently without having to feel like, oh man, I'm gonna miss out if I get, the second I use them, I'm gonna pull that hero and I don't have it anymore. And now I can't use that hero because you need them awakened with high sig levels to do well in the game, right? And so my final thoughts, right, is Kabam. You will still make money on this, right? We're not asking you to give up your business model, right? You can still throw all kinds of deals at us. But imagine if players had to use these champions, and they got to use these champions because the content was such where they could use the champions frequently, then we would rank them up, right? I'm not taking up, my OG Daredevil because to rank 3 or rank 4 is a 5-star, because why? Serves no purpose. But if you gave me incentive to do that, when you put out an offer for tier 4 or 5 basics or tier 2 alphas, I might consider it now, right? Because I've got incentive to use them, right? And so I think it would make the game more fun. I think it would make it more interesting. You could spawn off a bunch of ideas that I'm not even thinking of. I love your comments on this, right? But I have tons of heroes at rank 1 and 2, and I can't do anything with them. I can't rank them because I've got to hold on these resources for the champions like Captain America Infinity War. I still don't have them. I'll probably get them at some point, and then I can finally go into 6.2, and it's a lot easier to do that way. And I don't have to spend units doing that. I can spend units on other things, right? Like the Abyss or Revives for that or whatever, right? So give me a reason to rank them, right? Give me some deals, right? So I just think that there's a lot of things that you could do with this, and it would be something completely different, right? It'd be something completely different where you've got freedom and choice to make it, and you're having to use these rosters that you've built. You're not just sitting on all these heroes doing nothing with them. So thank you guys for listening. If you like what you saw, like what you heard, please hit the notification button, the subscribe button, the like button. Hit them all. I've got hopefully another one coming, and 2 or 3 more coming in the next couple days. But I really want to get this one out there because I think that it's important to figure out solutions for these things that Kabam is doing, is putting players in a situation where they don't want to play anymore. I don't want to see this community go away, right? I've created some real friends from this game, right? That we've been in the same alliance together for years. So, anyways, thank you very much for listening. I love your feedback, love your thoughts, and I will talk to you again soon. Thanks.